You don't wake up wanting to feel anxious. You don't choose worry like your favorite outfit. But somehow, it's there, following you, whispering, "What if?" Carl Jung didn't think this was just a personal issue. He believed worry isn't yours alone. It's a signal, a sign that something inside you is divided between who you really are and who the world told you to be. The more you ignore that split, the louder the anxiety becomes. Jung's whole philosophy was about integration, bringing the unconscious parts of you into the light, not running from them, not denying them, because what you suppress doesn't go away. It hides in the background and pulls the strings. That's where worry comes from the hidden you, the parts you left behind. Until you bring those parts into awareness, they'll control your life, and you'll call it fate. That's why worry feels so random. You try to distract yourself, you meditate, you journal, but the worry returns. Why? Because that voice you're trying to quiet is you, or at least the forgotten version of you asking to be seen. Jung didn't believe anxiety could be fixed with surface-level advice. He saw it as a message, a cry from your soul to stop pretending and start healing. He believed we all carry emotional patterns called complexes, bits of pain and fear that split off in the past but still live inside us. That voice that says, "You're not good enough," that fear that something bad is about to happen, that tight feeling in your chest before you speak your truth. Jung would say, that's not the real you, that's a part of you that's been rejected, and it's trying to return. He once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their soul. And that includes constant worry. We don't want to look inward, so we try to control the outside. But control is an illusion. We think if we plan enough, predict enough, worry enough, we'll feel safe. But that's the trap. The more you try to control life, the more anxious you become. Two people can go through the same thing. One is calm, the other overwhelmed. The difference? It's not the event, it's the inner lens. Worry doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from how we're split inside. Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. And no, he wasn't being negative. He was being honest. Because once you face the pain, it starts to lose its grip. Worry begins to fade the moment you stop running from it and start listening to it. Jung didn't tell people to think positive. He told them to become whole. That means noticing your triggers, watching your dreams, seeing your projections, and meeting your shadow with curiosity, not shame, your fear, your doubt, your anxiety. They're not mistakes, they're messages. And when you stop seeing them as enemies, they become your guides. Worry becomes a compass, leading you back to yourself. Even then, letting go isn't easy, because deep down, the ego is scared to live without worry. It thinks worry equals control, but Jung would gently ask, who's trying to control everything? The surface level you, the overthinker, or the deeper part, the calm observer behind it all? Jung never blamed the ego. He just didn't let it be the boss. He saw the ego as one part of your whole self. But when you think it's all you are, you lose balance. And that's when worry takes over. You worry about the past like it can be changed. You worry about the future like you can script it. You worry about what others think just to avoid looking within. But the real fear isn't out there, it's inside. It's the fear of not being enough. Jung saw this clearly. He knew the root of anxiety is not the world, but the refusal to trust life itself. Real strength isn't controlling life, it's trusting who you truly are, he wrote. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's not mysticism, that's empowerment. Because you don't need to be ruled by worry, not because you've got life figured out. You won't. Not because life is predictable, it never is, but because you're starting to remember you were never in danger. Not really. Your soul doesn't need to worry. It doesn't need to control. It just wants to come home, to be whole, to be present. So when that anxious thought shows up, don't run, don't fight. Just say, "Ah, there you are. What are you trying to show me?" And slowly, worry won't feel like a prison anymore. It will become a teacher, and eventually, a quiet friend that no longer needs to speak so loudly. You don't defeat anxiety by force. You dissolve it with awareness, the kind of awareness that doesn't try to fix, just witness. There's a space inside you that's deeper than the thoughts, deeper than the panic, deeper than the story. It's the place where your soul breathes. It's calm, not because life is perfect, but because it no longer needs to be. Carl Jung believed that healing comes not from perfection, but from wholeness. That means making peace with the parts of you that are afraid, that overthink, that feel like they are not enough. You don't need to push those parts away. You need to sit with them. Hold them like a child who never felt safe. When you stop resisting your worry, you stop fueling it. It's like standing in a storm and suddenly realizing you are the sky, not the clouds. Jung saw the soul not as something to be found, but something to be remembered. And every anxious thought is actually part of that remembering. It says, "Look here, you've forgotten something. A part of you that wants love, a dream you buried, a truth you were too afraid to speak." Anxiety is not just discomfort, it's a doorway. If you walk through it, you don't become someone new. You return to who you've always been. So the next time the worry comes, pause. Don't rush to escape it. Let it speak. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of right now? What belief is sitting underneath this panic? Is it true? And who is watching all of this unfold? Quietly, patiently, without judgment. That witness is you. The real you. The one untouched by fear. The one who watches thoughts rise and fall like waves on a shore, but remains still beneath it all. You've spent so much time managing life, trying to fix yourself. But maybe you were never broken. Maybe the parts of you that feel too much are actually signs of depth, not dysfunction. Maybe your sensitivity isn't a weakness. It's the doorway to empathy, to truth, to connection. And maybe worry isn't something to conquer, but something to outgrow. Because when you grow into your whole self, when you allow every voice inside you to be heard, even the scared ones, they begin to quiet on their own. Not because you silenced them, but because they were finally understood. Jung believed that your greatest healing comes from your greatest wounds. And so worry, that old familiar visitor, might just be pointing you to your next transformation, a place where you no longer need to perform or pretend or please, a place where your nervous system starts to feel safe again. Not because the world is safe, but because you have made peace with the world within. That's what wholeness is, not being fearless, but being free.